Okay, so in this session, like I said, we're going to look at upscaling, making variations, and making art which isn't directly square. Okay, so first of all, having a look at this, I really like I really like this one. Okay, so let's say this is number 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got the option to upscale number 1. So, or you've also got the option to variation number 1. So if I click variation number 1, what it's going to do is it's going to look at image number 1 and it's going to generate different variations based upon that. So it'll probably have a prominent figure in the center, like you can see it's doing there, and it's going to do a few different variations, maybe change some colors, change the layout slightly, stuff like that, maybe change the size and scale of the buildings, stuff like that. So you can see, oh, that's quite quick, it's done some variations based upon that first one, and actually I now prefer this one. So I could do variations of whatever I want in there, but you've also got upscale. I like this one a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upscale number 3, okay? And then it's going to think, right, number 3, I'm now going to scale that up because it's quite small, but there. So that's now going to take X amount of time. And one of the problems I find with upscaling, it makes it bigger, but it quite often adds a little bit too much detail and makes it look overly detailed and can be quite noisy and grainy and just doesn't look great. So what we'll have a look at is how we kind of bring some of that back. So if we just let that go, I'll join you in a second once it's finished. Okay, so we're done. And as you can see, it's overly detailed for me. If we compare this to this, it's hard to see, but you can see this one's a lot smoother. And this is a common thing. So what they've actually done is they've given us this thing by here called light upscale redo. So we can make further variations based upon this upscale version. We can upscale it to maximum, or I think first I'm going to do a light upscale redo. And what this is going to do is it's going to redo the upscaling, but it's going to lessen that detail. So it's going to keep it. What this upscale did is it made it a larger image in terms of dimensions, and it also added detail. What this is going to do is it's going to take this larger version and just reprocess it, but make it a bit smoother. So once this is done, what I'll do is I'll show you the difference between the two. And sometimes I think, oh, it looks better there, but not better there. So what there is an additional, I may do a little bonus at the end of how to deal with that actually in Photoshop. So yeah, we'll just wait for this one to come in now, and I can already see just by looking at the thumbnails, if this is on 90%, this is already looking a lot nicer. So 91, let's just have a quick check to see if anything's populated in here. Like I said in the last lesson that it will, and of course it's not doing it yet. Probably just a bit slow, but trust me, it does eventually. Okay, so we've got this one. So let's have a look at our 2D, the one that's too detailed. That's not great. Now let's have a look at this one. That's nicer. So if you focus on this light by here, so this is the smoother version, and that's like ultra detailed. Maybe have a look in here. So too detailed. And this one's smoother. I like this one a lot more. So yeah, those are the differences. And then I can say, right, I can make more variations based upon it, or I can upscale it to maximum size. So I'll probably normally, if I'm happy, I'll just upscale to max, and then I've got it. So let's just click upscale to max. Normally, I would download it from in here. It's still not populating, so I'd click the 3 dots and I'd say save image. But you can also, for example, I'll show you with this one, the upscale max may take a little bit of time because it's kind of doing its final one. But what you can do is you can just go there, click open original, and then right click and save image as, and then just save it to your desktop or wherever. So that's the other way if you don't want to wait for it to populate inside of here. I'll wait for this one just to go ahead and do its final upscale, and then I can download it and show you the dimensions. And what we'll do after that is I'll show you how to make sort of landscape stuff, not just square. So I'll pause this now and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, and it looks like we are done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save, this is the upscaled to maximum. So let's go ahead, open original, and I'm going to, oh, that's nice. I'm going to save image to my desktop, upscale max, and save that there. I'm also going to go ahead and save the this one. This one had been upscaled, but not maximum. So I'm going to click Open Original and then go Upscale 1. I'm not going to bother going ahead and kind of opening this one where it's smaller again, because there's 4 there. It just doesn't make, it's too long. So what I'll do is I'll drag both of these across. Upscale 1 is, let's go and properties. That is 1024 by 1024, and upscale max is 1536 by 1536. So again, not massive, but what I may do is I may show you, I'll show you that actually. One thing I use, big JPEG, upload it to here, and upscale max. This is probably, there's loads of AI enlargers out there, but this is the one I use for a few different reasons. So artwork 4 times, and I'll keep the noise reduction to none. Click OK. And if I click start, there you go, it's doing it anyway. So we'll do it 4 times. So it'll be like 4K then, or actually 6K, because 4 times 1500 will be 6,000. So there's a bunch of different ones out here. I don't like paying, and this is a free one. It only does 2 at a time, but I've compared the quality from a bunch of them, and this is decent quality. If you pay, you're going to get a bit better, but this is for free. This is really, really good. So I'll maybe show you that in a minute. But the other thing I wanted to look at is resolution or ratio. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another prompt. Imagine, in fact, I'm going to copy this prompt from before. Okay. So I'm going to go imagine, click prompt, type this in, but also watch what I do now. I'm going to hit space and then do 2 semicolons just to separate it, space. So space and 2 semicolons. What I'm also going to do then is I'm going to put dash dash and then W for width, and I'm going to say I want the width to be 1920. I'm going to hit space, dash dash, height. I want the height to be 1024. This is what I found to work best. So all I've done is I've said 2 semicolons there with a space each side to separate it, to say it's another command. I'm going to put 2 dashes and say width. I want that to be 1920. Then 2 dashes and height. I want that to be 1024. So now if I do this, hit enter, you'll notice when it starts generating, it'll have the sort of 16:9 aspect ratio, so see like that. Now, I learned this through trial and error. A very, very good resource is if you go into Midjourney online by here, come down to help and FAQ, and you've got this quick start guide. So you've got read through this, creating your first image. If I were to say upscaling the image, it's got stuff in there. But if I were to say landscape, try describing the style, can't remember where I found it, but it's in here somewhere. Parameters. Right, okay, so sizes. If you put dash dash W, width of the image, works better as a multiple of 64. So yeah, you want to keep those numbers as multiples of 64, and the same for height. Okay, so that's where I found that, and it was again through trial and error and having to figure stuff out. I would absolutely recommend having a read through this, okay? For example, you've got prompt modifiers, so you can put dash dash no if you don't want any plants in there, or if I didn't want, what have I got in here? No people, for example. I could say no people or no robots. I could put that in there. And there we go. Our wide one's done it, so we've got these now, and that's pretty cool. I'd probably go ahead and do some variations of number 3. And again, that's where variations and all these additional prompts come in well. But there's loads more that you can do. If you read through this, you've got all these modifiers. So this, for example, detail modifiers stops. You'll see it does a sort of percentage thing as we go through. And maybe you think, oh, by 60% it looks good. So you could run it again and use these to say stop at X% or stop at 50% or whatever. But yeah, have a read through this because it's really, really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this session there. Maybe just have a quick look at these. Oh, they're so cool. I really like that one. So I'm going to upscale number 4. Very quick check. Has it... right, this one over here. So I'll download, and this upscaler now has taken... 1500 by 1500 pixels to, let's rethink this, and properties, it's now 6144, so it's now massive. And if we look at the quality, it's still good quality, you know, a 6K resolution. So yes, let's go back very quickly just to see if it's populated into my profile. I'm kind of hoping it has by now. No, it hasn't. Of course it hasn't. It's taken a while today, but it does, believe me, it goes in here. So yeah, I'm going to leave this message, this lesson here. That's really cool. I'm going to leave this message here, this lesson here, sorry, and I'll do a new one in a moment, and it'll be on prompt tips and how to make your prompts. And then we're going to finish with a class challenge. So cheers for tuning in. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.